let's go ahead and get started on some of the other things that we need to do for this. So we've been selecting things, we've added things. I'll just remind you quickly how to select multiple things, and then we'll look at deleting and duplicating things as well. I said remind you, but the only reason I say that is because the same way we select multiple things in a Windows or Mac OS is how you would select multiple things here as well. So if I wanted to select both this sphere and the icosphere, I can go ahead and click on the one and then shift click. So I'm pressing and holding shift and clicking on the other. Now, one thing that's happened here is that because I have two objects selected, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. We have an orange outline on the first object that was selected, and we have an amber outline on the second object that was selected. And so that amber outline just means that that's the last thing that you selected, and that becomes important later on. The other thing that we'll see, and I'll just introduce this right now, is that each one of these objects has a small dot in the center. These dots are called the origin of the object. So if I am doing different things like scaling or rotating, the scale and rotate is going to happen pivoting around this little dot, which we'll see here in just a little bit. So I'm going to click away, and that goes ahead and unselects anything. So I'm going to press and hold my middle mouse button. I've just zoomed in with my middle mouse button. I'm dragging around. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to click the first one, press and hold shift, click the second and third. So that's how you select multiple objects. If I wanted to, let's say, delete an object that I don't want anymore, which I'm going to do that with the plane. You can delete any object you want. I select the object and I hit X on my keyboard. I'm not 100% sure where I would go in here. Oh, right here, delete. I made an assumption that it would be in the object menu, but X to delete. And then it says, are you sure? I say yes. And that's how you get rid of an object. I can also delete stuff here in the outliner. So I can tap X here, and that will just straight up delete it. If you accidentally do something, just like any other application, you can hit Command or Cntrl+Z, and that'll undo your last action. It's a little bit like Illustrator in that it has a memory of about 50 steps, depending on how deep into the project you are, but you can hit or press and hold Command or Control, and then tap Z a whole bunch, and you'll step backwards. Okay, cool. So I've got the ability to add something, Shift A. I've got the ability to select multiple things, press and hold Shift and click on multiple things. I also have the ability to delete something, X, and undo that, Command Z. The only other thing we haven't talked about so far is duplicating an object. So when I have an object here, I can duplicate it a couple different ways. The fastest way, or the first way that I'm going to show you, is to do a duplicate object, which is right here under the object menu. So select the object you want to duplicate and duplicate object. Then as you have it, you can just start to move around and you've got that same object. Notice up in the outliner, it's given it a second name, and it usually gives it 2 zeros and a 1. Another way to do that is to press and hold Shift and tap D for dog, and then you can move this around as well. So press and hold Shift, tap D, and that D for duplication duplicates your objects.